Welcome to my Extreme Projects final presentation. This presentation is an overview of what I did this semester. Why did I pick Extreme Projects? Well, I picked Extreme Projects because I was looking for a class that was fun, hands-on, and student-driven. This class, Extreme Projects, gives the students the opportunity to explore their interests instead of a teacher telling them a specific topic. So I chose Extreme Projects and I decided to research into the foster care system. So how it started, I took a driving question and then snowballed my research from there. My driving question were, how could teens impact the life of foster children? And why do the children in the foster care system have little or no voice? After I found my driving question, it was time to do research. Like any other person, I started my research using a computer. I searched for scholarly articles, journals, case studies, blogs, anything that had to deal with the foster care system. After finding plenty of information, I wanted to go deeper. In order to do so, I decided to get books. I got Etched in Sand, To the End of June, and Like Family. All three books pertain to the foster care system. Etched in Sand and Like Families both were personal experiences of the foster care system. And To the End of June, the author discussed the problems faced by the foster care system. Even with my research done by the computer and my books I've read, I still wanted to know more. So then I decided it was time to do some interviews. Wanting to know more about the foster care system, I decided to interview people in my community. I interviewed Mary Holtap at Bethany Christian Services. Mary is a social worker, so she was able to provide me with lots of information. Mary explained to me how the system works, from the steps when a child enters the system to the steps when they leave. She also was able to answer my questions why children don't have a voice, and she even explained to me why some children are moved around. I also interviewed with Kelly Kuchnick. Kelly is a Michigan CASA director and the volunteer coordinator at the Kalamazoo branch. Kelly was able to tell me what CASA does for the children and how they advocate for them every day. I also tried to interview with Dr. John Sita, but was never able to. After doing my research and interviews, it was time to write my position paper. A position paper is you taking a stance and defending it. My position is children in the foster care system should have a bigger voice, especially when it comes to their placement. This would benefit the children because today many of them are told to move foster homes in a moment's notice and even have to switch social workers at times. If children had a voice and could decide to stay or leave foster homes, it would be tremendous for them. The children would be able to establish solid relationships if they wanted to stay, and they could even have a better education because they're not always switching homes. This should also weed out any bad foster homes because the children would only pick the good ones. Like any good position paper, there's always a counter argument. The reasons why not to give the children a voice or a bigger voice is the argument of age. Some children are too young to know what's the best decision for them. Also, this would require a brand new system, and that takes time and money. After completing my position paper, it was time to get involved. One way I did so was through my job shadow. I job shadowed Kelly Kuchnick at Kalamazoo CASA and was able to see what she does every day. During my job shadow, I was able to interview with CASA volunteers themselves, witness some court hearings, and was able to see Kelly's connections, like the K-CAN and the people in the court system. One of the things I did during my job shadow was witness some court hearings. I saw a dispositional, a review, and a permanency planning hearing. All three court hearings had to deal with the foster care system. The three hearings were the basic steps the court took when a child enters the foster care system and when their case is over. The last thing I did during my job shadow was to see Kelly's Connections. One of Kelly's Connections is the Kalamazoo Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Council. The KCAN is a surface area advocacy group that tries to stop abuse and neglect before it even happens. The KCAN is a nonprofit which allows younger people like me to work with them more easier than CASA can because they work for the courts. Through KCAN, I also got a volunteer opportunity being their social media finder. My job is to find articles, blogs, or anything in that nature for them to post on their social media pages. In conclusion, what I did this semester was nothing compared to what my thoughts were. I did way more than I expected, and I was able to open up my connections as well. I even got a volunteer job. The impact of this class was also tremendous to me. I was able to explore areas of job interests. I was able to change my views of the foster care system and even express new interests like a possible job dealing with the law. Overall, this class was just fun and allowed me to learn in ways other classes cannot offer.